Learn how to improve your freestyle stroke technique for a faster, more efficient swim. A faster arm stroke doesn't always improve your swimming speed. Longer, efficient strokes are always better than shorter, aggressive movements. Your hand entry should be relaxed and in line with your shoulder. For most people, the hand should enter the water about 12 to 18 inches in front of their head. At the end of the stretch, your hand should be at the same depth as your armpit, with your palm facing down and your fingers forwards, making sure they don't cross over the central point. In order to start pushing the water backwards, your wrist should bend and your fingers should point diagonally towards the bottom of the pool. At the same time, rotate your elbow to point upwards, gaining a high elbow position before you push the water backwards. This is known as the catch. At the end of the catch, it's crucial that your fingers point down towards the bottom of the pool, with your palm facing backwards to ensure your elbow doesn't drop. Moving into the pull phase of the arm stroke, your powerful chest and shoulder muscles take over and should begin pushing the water backwards, initiating your propulsion. Keep your palm facing backwards while your hand remains within your body line. Maintaining the pressure on the water, accelerate your hand backwards to your thigh in time with your hip rotation. Your hand should accelerate from front to back, and the final push phase should be very powerful. When viewed from beneath, your hand path will follow a shallow S shape as it moves through the stroke. This should feel natural and shouldn't be forced. The recovery phase starts as your hand leaves the water at your hip. For optimum efficiency, relax your elbow and wrist, keeping your elbow higher than your hand as it reaches forwards. Ensure that your armpit is clear of the water during the recovery phase. Power paddles or finger paddles can be used to help you focus on improving the positioning of your hands as they enter the water. Finger paddles are a great way to focus on achieving an efficient catch and pull phase, as they encourage you to keep your fingers down and elbow up in the correct position. Power paddles help to generate more force on the push phase. Nathan displays a smooth and relaxed hand entry, fingertips first, in line with his shoulder, reaching forward as his body rotates. Notice Nathan's excellent catch and high elbow positioning before he pushes the water backwards. Nathan's hand leaves the water in a relaxed position as his body rotates. He has a high hand recovery, enabling increased hip rotation to generate more power. Learn how to improve your backstroke stroke technique for a faster, more efficient swim. A faster arm stroke doesn't always improve your swimming speed. Longer, efficient strokes are always better than shorter, aggressive movements. Your hand entry should be relaxed and in line with your shoulder, with your little finger entering the water first. Your hand continues to travel downwards until the opposite shoulder rotates out of the water. The depth that your hand travels to will depend on your strength, stability, and feel for the water. As your hand flexes, rotate your elbow into an inverted high elbow position to allow the palm of your hand to face towards your feet. Your fingers must be pointed out to the side of the pool to maintain the inverted high elbow and good leverage on the water. Moving into the pull phase of the arm stroke, your powerful chest and shoulder muscles take over and should start to pull the water downwards in the direction of your feet, initiating your propulsion. Keep your palm facing towards your feet, with your wrist fixed and in line with your forearm, whilst maintaining an inverted high elbow. The elbow bend at this stage can be up to 90 degrees, but what you achieve is dependent on your strength, flexibility, and stability in the stroke. Maintaining the pressure on the water, your hand should accelerate past your hips as your arm straightens in time with your hip rotation. This is the most powerful and propulsive section of the stroke cycle and coincides with the opposite arm recovering. When viewed from beneath, your hand path will be a shallow S shape as it moves through the stroke. This should feel natural and shouldn't be forced. The recovery phase starts as your hand leaves the water at your hip. The most efficient way is to exit the water with your thumb or back of the hand first, depending on your preference. This will be shoulder-led, initiated by the rotation of your hips. On the first part of the recovery, your hand must be relaxed and in line with your shoulder, with the arm perpendicular to the water surface pointing up to the ceiling. To maintain an effective body rotation, ensure that your armpit is clear of the water on your recovering arm. The second part of the recovery is initiated as your hips rotate back to the other side and coincides with your palm rotating outwards and dropping into the water, little finger first. Your arm should enter the water in line with your shoulder, keeping it close to your head. Timing of the arm stroke is important to consider for an effective stroke. As one hand enters the water, the opposite hand exits, which coincides with the hip rotation within the stroke cycle. Power paddles or finger paddles can be used to help you focus on improving the positioning of your hands as they enter the water. Finger paddles are useful for helping you focus on an efficient catch and pull phase, encouraging you to keep your fingers and elbow in the correct position. Due to his excellent body rotation, Ryan has a deep and powerful stroke with great acceleration past his hips.
The correct body position allows you to become more streamlined, improving your efficiency in the water. To keep your body as straight as possible from your head to your hips, position your head facing forwards and tilted slightly downwards. Pull your stomach in, aiming to keep your back as straight as possible and your hips as close to the surface of the water as possible. Breathing technique delivers oxygen to your muscles and helps you to swim more comfortably and efficiently. As your arms start the pull phase, lift your head out of the water and breathe in through your mouth. Keep your head and shoulders relaxed and free from tension. As you extend your arms forward on the recovery phase, submerge your head into the water and exhale slowly through your nose or mouth. The stronger your kick technique, the more propulsion you will achieve and the faster you'll be able to swim as a result. Flex your foot, pulling your toes towards your shins at the start of the kick, while keeping your heels as close to your bottom as possible. As your legs extend outwards and backwards, push the water backwards with the soles of your feet to accelerate and propel your body forwards. Point your toes at the end of the kick. As your legs straighten and your ankles come together, aim to get the soles of your feet to face each other as much as ankle flexibility will allow. To complete the recovery phase of the kick, bend your legs, keeping your knees as close together as possible while bringing your heels up towards your bottom. Keep your body relaxed as you move through the stroke. A kickboard can be used to help isolate your legs in order to focus on your kick technique. How to improve your stroke technique for a faster, more efficient swim. Extend your arms at the front of the stroke with your hands turned slightly outwards. Keeping your elbows high, sweep your arms outwards, focusing on catching as much water as possible with your hands. Accelerate your arms backwards, continuing your hold on the water until your hands and forearms sweep inwards in front of your body. With your elbows tucked in, extend your arms to the front of the stroke, keeping them as close together as possible. Finger paddles can be used to help focus on improving your catch position and your arm pull. A pull buoy can be used to help you to focus on improving your arm pull. The correct body position allows you to become more streamlined, improving your efficiency in the water. Keep your head in a neutral face-down position, directing your eyes 90 degrees below you to the bottom of the pool. This will help straighten your body while positioning it high in the water. Flatten your back and keep your body as flat as possible. Maintain a face-down head position, keeping your head still at all times unless lifting it to breathe. A center snorkel can be used to help you feel comfortable with the neutral face-down position in the water. A good breathing technique delivers oxygen to your muscles and helps you to swim more comfortably and efficiently. As your arms begin to pull down through the stroke, lift your head out of the water to breathe. To maintain an efficient body position, aim to keep your chin as close to the waterline as possible. After your hands finish the pull phase and begin to leave the water for the recovery phase, drop your head back down into the neutral face-down position. This will allow your arms to recover over the surface of the water back to the front of the stroke. Try using fins to help support your body and keep it positioned high in the water. The stronger your kick technique, the more propulsion you will achieve and the faster you'll be able to swim as a result. Start the dolphin kick by driving from your hips, kicking down through the water until your legs reach full extension. In this powerful movement, the legs should accelerate on the down kick towards the bottom of the pool, with the ankles flicking at the end. On the up kick, the kick upwards towards the pool's surface, relax your legs, bringing your heels towards the surface of the water to create a slight bend in the leg at the knee. Fins can be used to help strengthen your legs, enabling you to generate more power and to kick harder. Learn how to improve your stroke technique for a faster, more efficient swim. With your arms in the water and elbows positioned high, begin the arm pull by pressing down with your forearms to catch and pull back the water. Holding the water, maintain a high elbow position and accelerate your arms through the water, pointing your fingers towards the bottom of the pool. As you pull, aim to keep your hands inside your body line. Push backwards with your hands as you move into the back of the stroke, accelerating your hands up and out of the water into the recovery phase. In a relaxed motion, bring your arms over the surface of the water, keeping them straight and close to the waterline until they re-enter the pool at the front of the stroke. Finger paddles can be used to help you focus on improving the positioning of your hands.
A fast freestyle turn gives you the means to change direction and start a new lap quickly and effectively. It allows you to continue training without a stop and start approach and will help you adopt a more advanced level of proficiency. Within the last few strokes of your lap, you will need visibility of the approaching wall in order to adjust your stroke pattern and execute an effective turn. This is called sighting the wall. Your stroke pattern should be adjusted to ensure that your last stroke is a full and extended one. This allows you to pull in and gain momentum into the turning movement. It will take practice to achieve this movement, so experiment with your stroke length. When you're approximately 1 full arm's length away from the wall, pull your leading arm backwards and drop your chin onto your chest to initiate the turn. As your head travels downwards, your hips will lift into a piked V shape. Immediately pull your knees into your chest to complete a somersault movement. Your feet should rotate over towards the wall, ready for the push-off. Remember that a smaller shape rotates faster than a large shape, so keep your knees tucked in towards your chest. A strong and powerful pull of your hands from your hips towards your head will assist with a fast and efficient rotation. As your feet hit the wall, your knees should be at a 90-degree angle to gain the most power from your drive off the wall. At this point, your back should be straight with your arms in a streamlined position, extended above your head. Push off the wall by driving your legs and pointing your toes, and aim for a total straight line in order to maximize the distance gained. Experiment with your foot plant on the wall to find the push-off angle that suits you best. Some swimmers prefer to have their feet and knees pointing towards the side of the pool, rather than towards the surface of the water. Both of these options can give you an effective push-off. Try practicing mid-pool turns away from the wall in order to master the somersault movement. Gently exhale air to avoid water going up your nose during the rotation phase. Try practicing a small, powerful dolphin kicking movement as your chin presses onto your chest. This will aid a faster rotation.
Executing the right start when swimming the crawl or butterfly strokes significantly affects the overall swim, as well as your result. Learn how to perfect this technique. When preparing to jump, you should take the track and field slip-step stance. The distance between your feet should measure around 30 to 40 centimeters. Your center of gravity should be shifted toward the front while keeping a strong grip on the platform with your hands. Positioning the body in this way allows for maximum efficiency and a quick launch from the starting block, while also saving time on the start reaction by 0.2 of a second from the standard start time. When positioning the body with a forward shift, the jump makes way for the torso to enter the water while simultaneously pushing the hands forward. At the same time, the leg should perform the scissor motion to attain maximum initial speed. The direction vector of the jump should be as far forward as possible and with as little upward angling as possible. The flight path should be neither too steep nor too narrow. Immersion into the water should begin with the hands. The hands should be at a 45-degree angle at the moment of immersion. The head should be tucked behind the arms and not break the straight line running along the back. The torso should be completely tensed, the stomach drawn in, arms and legs straightened and tensed, toes pointing back. The entire body should form one straight and continuous line. Upon entering the water, you must strive to achieve minimum contact area and minimum splash, as well as following the rule of entrance at a single point. Thus, you can achieve a minimum number of turbulent eddies around your body in the water. You should then be submersed at an effective and faster depth of between 0.8 and 1.7 meters.
The key to a great backstroke start is to go airborne. You want the body completely over the water. You don't want to see a splash. You don't want to hear a splash. You don't want to make a splash. You want to go in there and just knife into the water, arching the back in a perfect streamline, and allowing the feet to come in very quickly and smoothly, and then you get into your underwater dolphin kick, okay? And that's where the real race begins. But you got to get into the water properly. And how you do that is you've got to position your feet properly. Put your feet up on the wall like you're going to do the start. Now, you don't want your feet to be too wide, so move your feet out way wide. See, outside your shoulder, that's uncomfortable. It's not strong. Now move them almost together. Closer, even further in. More. That's too narrow. You don't have the power there. So now we're going to position them where you have the most power, which is right about where your shoulders are. So put them about where your shoulders are. Okay. Now you're comfortable. That's where you're strongest. And you notice the toes are right up at the water's edge. Okay, you want to get them as high as you can on the water. You don't want to be down on the wall. You want to be up as high as you can. Okay. All right. Now when I say take your mark, you don't want to pull yourself too far in. Show me one where you pull yourself too far into the wall. Okay. Take your mark. Okay, you don't want to be in that position. That's a bad position. You're looking down your head. You're not in a great position to launch yourself. You also don't want to be leaning back, all right? Show me one where you're leaning back too far. Take your mark. See, that way your weight is back. You don't feel strong. You're not in a really balanced position, and you're not in a position where you can launch yourself. All right, the next one we're going to do is going to be the correct position. And notice the chin is up. You're going to have your chin up, not down, not back, but straight, okay, in alignment with your body. Take your mark. Good. And you notice where your bum is over the top of the water. If I don't get my bum to that height, I'm not going to be able to get up and completely over the water. I have to launch from a high position. That means you got to use some muscle strength to pull yourself up there. All right, this time we're going to do the whole start, and you're going to launch yourself up and over without a splash into the water and do however many kicks, 10, 11 kicks you do to a breakout. Okay, here we go. Take your mark.